So I got a witchy wig. And I love it. No, the bangs or whatever, they were not part of the wig. I actually had the woman who does my hair, Ashley, cut these specifically because I'm not a big fan of the hairline either, the natural hairline of this wig. So we now have bangs and I adore them. And I also sectioned off the hair to give it a little bit of volume in the back. Aha! Let's talk demons. It's so hot in my house. Okay, so have any of you ever heard of like The Sixth Sense? No, not the movie, and no, the movie wasn't good. You guys just think it was good. It was not good. But no, I'm talking about like The Sixth Sense, to where people have an ability that is outside of your normal 5 senses to the human body. Well, usually there are 3 of those typically within a certain community, where you can predict life, you can predict events that are going to happen very, very soon, like in present day, and you can also predict death. I can predict death. Allow me to explain. And no, it's not a total I see dead people kind of thing. It is more so when I've always had this love towards darker things, creepier things, gothic things, if you will. I've always been interested in that sort of thing because I was raised on scary movies, thrillers, action films, movies you shouldn't really watch as a kid, but I did. And I also was raised on the Grimm fairy tales. I was raised on a lot of the darker arts, so I've always had an appreciation for macabre and all that fun jazz. But when 2012 came around, my father passed away, my dad, he passed away, and it was then that my dreams started to have a little bit more meaning to them, and it's a long story and it's kind of difficult to explain. It's always been around me ever since I was probably like 4 years old, but it was more prevalent after that tragedy in 2012. Let's start at the very beginning at like 2004. Okay, but like real quick before I get into it, I kind of want to get these on my real hair when my hair grows out, because I think this is adorable. I haven't had bangs since I was probably 9 or 10 years old, and they were really, really thin. They just kind of looked like my baby hairs, but I love these. I love them. So just let me know what you think, because I am really thinking about getting these on my real head. To explain where the creepy kind of stuff comes from outside of films and movies, oh, this hair is so much and it's so heavy. My mom is a vintage Victorian furniture item collector. She always has been since as long as I can remember. She would get things from estates and castles across Europe and whatnot. We have a fire guard at her house that was brought up from the Titanic, finished, cleaned up, all that jazz. And we owned it, and we still do. And I'll have to get a picture of it when I go over and visit. So we've always had odd things and weird things and old things in my house. It was my mom's aesthetic. Clearly I didn't pick up on it. It's not my thing. I think that's just because I grew up with it. A lot of people love seeing all that stuff, but it's different when you live with it. And we had this mirror, okay? I don't think I have a picture of it. We never really thought to take a picture of it. It was always by my bedroom entranceway. No one could move it. It was so heavy. And it was so ornate and beautiful. The closest reference picture I could probably get you is the one from Oculus, and even that makes, like, the Oculus mirror is ugly compared to this one. And it just hung on the wall, and it was ginormous, and the carvings were beautiful. Whoever did it was really a master at their craft. But it was always one of the scariest things I've ever dealt with growing up in a house full of old antique things. The best story I can give you was when I was at least 9 years old. I was getting ready to go to church, and I was brushing my hair looking into that mirror because gotta hurry, gotta get there. I don't think I had a mirror in my bedroom at the time. And I was looking at my reflection, I'm brushing my hair, and all of a sudden my reflection turns the other way, and she's doing her own thing, and I'm watching her going, oh. Some of my other sisters said that they've had similar experiences with that mirror, other things in the house that creeped them out. And we left that mirror at my childhood home when we moved. We didn't take it with us. I don't know how to explain that one, and this happened more than once with my personal experience with that thing and with my sisters. But we left it, we abandoned it, and it didn't end there. Creepy experiences that I've had. Just as a disclaimer, I don't believe in demon possession. I don't believe in things like that. To me, everything is energy at the end of the day. Energy with inside matter/mass. I'm pretty science oriented deep down. So with me, I don't see demons as like a flesh and blood conjuring. What we see in Hollywood and in movies, I don't see them as that. I just see them as energy, vibes, you know? When you feel that weird feeling in your house, like a bad mojo kind of thing, that's what I see demons as, but I don't see all demons as bad, nor do I see all angels as good. There's like historic proof to show that demons, daemons, what have you, they're two separate entities. They can be good, they can be bad, they can be neutral, just like angels can. And I don't believe in souls, I don't believe in spirits. I believe that we're a brain at the end of the day in a meat suit, but I do believe that we are energy, and that's what I see souls as. Because with energy, if you do know, energy cannot be destroyed, it cannot be created, but it can be transferred, and it's malleable, and it's recyclable. And every energy is going to have a negative and a positive within it, kind of like a magnetic charge. So for me, demons can be a negative or a positive energy wherever they may be. So I end on that note by saying I'm 99% sure I have a demon in this house. This one right here. This house. Do I see this demon as all bad? Yes. Has it hurt me in my dreams? Yes. Let me explain. The reason I think there's a demon in this house is because my friend and I'm not going to say who, she is, I guess you would say a witch/medium. Her specialty is being a medium. Every witch has their specialties. So we were just fooling around in my house, and we played with the Ouija board because we're basic white girls and don't think of the repercussions of that. And whatever energy it was basically saying it was my father. And before you guys start debunking the Ouija board theories, because I debunk them all the time as well, I debunk the superstitions and the what have you with Ouija boards. But for me, I had told my friends, because it was me, my friend who's the medium, and another friend, I said, okay, hold up. No one touched the planchette, you know, the little thing you move around on the board. I had really long nails at the time. I don't have them right now. But I put just the tips of my nails, they were pretty long, they were good length, and put them on the planchette and I said, okay, ask a question, and we're going to see what it answers. And that thing was flying all over the place, and it was crazy. And it's not that kinetic energy that you would debunk it as, saying, oh, it's someone's kinetic energy through their fingertips pushing it, and then it's also your subconscious, you know? But we all kind of went around and were moving, like, figuring out, like, what it was saying, and it was answering things that my father would have known, that my friends wouldn't have known because they weren't childhood friends, they didn't grow up with me. So they didn't know my father. My father was dead before I met them. And it freaked me out, gave me a massive headache, which they say is because the energy needs yours as well, that kinetic energy, to move it around and communicate and whatnot. So I had a horrible migraine after that. And ever since then, my house has had the weirdest vibes and experiences going on throughout. I don't even know where to start. I guess the first thing I would say is my dreams. My dreams are very important to me. It's when my brain can be 100% itself. It's when other things on this plane can do whatever with it because you're not at the forefront of your brain controlling it. That's the cool thing about sleep. It's when your brain can truly be itself and not have that control when you're awake. And I was attacked in my dream. Keep in mind, I'm rarely ever in my own dreams. I don't dream about myself. I'm not usually the main character in my dreams. And if I ever am in my dreams, it is typically when I'm in surgery in real life, and it's always the same dream. So that's how I know things are okay. I'm not in my dreams other than that, but 2 times in a row I was in my dreams and this horrible looking thing attacked me explicitly, like adult explicit. YouTube guidelines can't really go into much detail after that, but I can't describe what I saw, and those who know me or read my books that I write know that I've always had nightmares ever since I was a kid. Hello, when you watch Saw at the age of 4, that kind of does that to the brain, but this actually scared me. I've never had a dream that terrified me more than these 2 dreams. And just whatever it was terrifying. So when I woke up, I was like, today's a good day to go get into my car and go buy some sage to do a cleansing thing in this house. I didn't believe it for a long time. I told Ruth about it, my aide. I told my roommate, and my roommate was rightfully mad at me. She didn't want me to do a Ouija board session or a seance of any sort. She's like, I did not consent to this. Why would you do this? I live here too. And I got told off for a while, and I couldn't even argue because she was in the right and I was in the wrong for doing that. The entity has not bothered her. The energy has not bothered her. It's kind of just attached itself to me. And I didn't go and get sage for a while. I kept pushing it off, thinking that it's just me hoping for some reason that something's here when it isn't. Until I went and I got this coffee table here, and I went to sign for it, and the keypad thing where you put your card in started signing itself, and it kept doing it and it wouldn't stop. I could not control the pad when I was doing it, and it freaked out the cashier. She thought it was just a glitch, but she's like, it was crazy, and it would do the same signature every single time. When she'd reset it, it would just keep writing its own thing. It was crazy. And it freaked Ruth out, freaked me out, freaked her out. And we said, well, energy is most powerful around electricity, which is why you usually have EMF readings with ghosts and whatnot. So it's most powerful when it's around good old 2020 technology, you know? Another thing that happened was I was chatting with a friend. They were having issues with a money app, like one of those side money apps like Zelle or Cash App or something like that. And they just couldn't figure it out. It was not working for them. It kept glitching. And then while we talked about that, her phone is turned off, mind you, deep in her bag. And all of a sudden it starts playing ABBA's Money, 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 like from Mamma Mia. And we just kind of sat there and we were shocked. We were freaking out, rightfully. It was funny. Whatever this entity is has a great sense of humor. I'll give it that. It has my sense of humor. Doesn't make it any less freaking terrifying. The most recent event that occurred with this entity, who I have rightfully named Benjamin. I've named the demon Benjamin because it makes it easier for me to clarify like what I'm talking about with friends and family. I was napping on said couch here, and I woke up because my mom had called me, so I'm talking to her, I'm laying there, my dogs are on the floor against the couch sleeping. I have Forensic Files going on because I love watching Forensic Files. When all of a sudden it feels like Milo or Luna bit my elbow, and I could feel the teeth, every tooth, and it was like this width of the teeth. And it was a slow pressure, so it just kept going and going and going until I reacted. And that's when I pulled out my sage and started doing a cleanse around my home in every room and every corner of the room. So I did that. We're gonna see if Benjamin's still sticking around. Other than demon possession, let's now discuss the death prediction I talked about in the beginning of this video. In 2012, I was sleeping in my childhood home, where that creepy mirror was. And I had a dream that wasn't me, but I had a dream that there was a family in this beautiful big house, and it was like on stilts in the ocean. So it was this beautiful house on stilts in the water, and it exploded, and a family of like 5 or 6 people died. in my dream. And I woke up the next morning and I see that like everything's like off my shelves and on the floor, like picture frames and everything. And I asked my mom, like, well, what happened? Was there an earthquake last night? And she said, no, like a couple miles or so away. It wasn't too far from us. A house had exploded from a propane tank. It malfunctioned by their pool, I believe, and everyone in the house died, which later we discovered were 5 people, I believe, including those in the guest home on the property. And it was very sad. It was traumatizing. I'm never going to forget that dream because of how vivid it was. And this occurred, I believe it was like right after my father's passing. And ever since then, whenever something bad's gonna happen, I have a depressive episode. Not an anxiety episode. Those are just me as a person. I'm just a very anxious person in general. But depression episodes only occur when tragedy is about to strike, usually close to me, either in physical distance or relationship-wise. Another example would be I came home from school one day and I couldn't move. It's not that I was tired, it's that I had no energy left. I had no will to do anything. I couldn't lift my arms, I couldn't get out of my bed, and I just told him, I'm like, I have never felt this weak. It was hard to breathe in a way. It just felt like this like heavy lead weight was just sitting on my chest here, and I told her like, I don't know what's wrong. And I was so depressed, I couldn't stop crying, and I didn't know why I was sad. And then the next morning, my mother had woken me up saying, we have to go to the hospital because your aunt is, she's not doing good. And they don't think she's gonna make it. Keep in mind that my aunt was sick her whole life, technically. She always had physical pains, a weakness to her, but her mind and her soul was like the strongest I've ever seen, one of the strongest people I ever knew, and the most sassy person I ever knew in my family. And we went and saw her, and she passed away. I believe it was later that night, if not like the early morning of the next day, she had passed away. And as soon as she did pass away, that feeling was gone. I wasn't, like, the forefront of my brain was obviously upset for losing a loved one, yes. However, that feeling I had the day before was entirely gone then. So, I mean, take it for face value, if you will, all my experiences. Luckily, I have not had those depressive moments in a very, very long time. I do believe the last time I did have that feeling was when my aunt did pass away. I'm trying to think. I know there was a time in between the house explosion and my aunt's passing that another event did occur. However, I'm very, very hyped up on coffee right now to think clearly. And I have 2 dogs, one on each side of me, that demands the head pats. But I do want to wish all of you a happy spooky season. For me, spooky season's always September 1st to November 1st, but, hi Milo, but I had been a little busy all of September. Can you get down, please? Can you get down, please? But I do have some stuff and content that is spooky coming your way to other social media platforms such as my TikTok, my Instagram. I hope to do some more spooky videos for YouTube. Hi, Bella. But I wanted to kick it all off with this little Sixth Sense and the house tour with my demon, apparently living here. But with all that being said, all of my social media links are in fact down in the description box for you guys just below this video. Give it a like if you did like this video. I also have a bunch of promo codes to save you guys money on a bunch of different websites. If you are so interested, those are also in the description box below. Let me know if you've ever had any paranormal experiences, what you think about demons, spirits, ghosts, if they are a thing, or if they're not a thing. I love talking about spooky, creepy stuff. It's totally my thing. And with that being said, Milo and I will see you all later. Blessed be.